Hello, this is Dr. Martina, your online sex therapist and sex educator. Have you ever found yourself sitting across your partner or a potential partner and you found yourself slightly aroused and you wanted to seduce him or her and you just had no idea how to go about it? Well, seduction is a personal ability that is learned and developed over the course of life. So it is not a skill that comes overnight, but it is a learnable art, which you too can learn with the following 3 essential seduction skills. Being able to identify the motivation of your sexual desire is one of the seduction skills. Do you have an emotional desire behind your seduction attempt? Do you want to be close? You're looking for tenderness? Or do you have a genital desire? Do you want to have intercourse? Do you want to be stimulated genitally? You want to have genital arousal? Being able to identify the motivator behind your sexual desire is not only a requirement for seduction skills, it is also a requirement for satisfying sex. So the more you practice checking in with your desires, the better you will become aware of what lies behind it, and therefore the more secure you become with your sexual choices. Now, there's a note, so make a note to yourself. If your desire comes from a place of frustration, make sure that you take a deep breath, that you let go of the tension behind that, because that will create a space for you to be able to manage that emotional charge of yours. Because if you seduce and there's an underlying frustration and criticism behind it, I can promise you it will have an anti-seduction effect. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have experienced that. And of course, we don't want to have an anti-seduction effect while we're trying to seduce. The goal of seducing somebody is to raise that person's interest to respond to their own sexual desires. When you watch your partner, observe your partner or the potential love interest, sex interest, that will help you develop an appropriate strategy to achieve that goal. Appropriate means that, check out what kind of situation you both are in, what the person is doing, what is appropriate, what kind of strategy is appropriate at this point. And you get that by watching and observing your project. And now we're getting to the creative part of seduction, and that is developing seduction strategies. And how we're going to do that? We're going to do that with body language. We will use our upper body to address emotional desires, and we use facial expressions, gaze, gestures, and speech. Do not forget about the power of the intonation in the speech. Or you can use your lower body with the emphasis on the pelvis to address genital desires, like posture, facial expressions, and language. And again, do not forget about the power of the intonation in your speech and in your language. Now, as you can tell, this is going to take some time for you to get comfortable, but you can always try this in front of the mirror and try what to do with your body. And then I want to give you some couple plays that you can use, like the distance play. You can do the social distance, which is always the word we're all familiar with right now, where you have the person, where you get to see the whole body of the person, and you can watch them doing your body language, and you can see their whole body and how they react. Or you can do the personal distance, which will only give you a partial view of their body, but it will get you close enough to do some touching, like touching their arms while you do gestures or while you use your language. Or you can do the intimate distance, which brings you really close, like within a foot of each other. You can only see the face of your partner, and that will obviously cook up some intimacy immediately. So play with those distance plays. Now, then the other thing you can do is the process of objectification. You can look at your partner's body, focusing on different regions of the body, like the torso, like the shoulders, the face, the pelvic area. And I can tell you, your looking at that person, looking at your person of desire, with that kind of a look is like looking at a yummy slice of pie that you want to devour. It will have an effect on the person, I can promise you that. Now, I want to say this again, keep in mind that the art of seduction lies in developing strategies to convince the other person that they want to respond to their sexual desires. You wake them up with your gestures, with your body language, and then you want to convince them that they want to respond to it. That is the art of seduction. So here you have the required skill for seduction. The beauty about seduction is that it is a learnable art, and with practice and intent, I promise you it will increase your sexual self-esteem, and that is a beautiful thing. If you struggle with shyness or insecurity around seduction, contact me and we will work on strategies that will feel right and comfortable for you. Have a great week. I'll see you next week.